What's up, YouTube? What's up, Vape Land? What's up, Vaping Public? Welcome back to another review or shit. Today's just going to be a quick look at a new tank. Yep, that's right, a new SubOhm tank from Sense. And this tank is the new Sense Herakles Weirdo. Yep, that's right. Here is their newest SubOhm tank, and this is a weird little tank right here. It's got a different style coil. It's got a different style top fill. Everything about this is different from the original Herakles tanks that we have seen in the past. So what we're going to do, we're going to dive up close. We're going to check one out. We're going to unbox it, look at the coils, look at the tank. We're going to come back. We're going to vape on it, and I'm going to give you guys my first thoughts on this. I haven't really vaped this. I haven't really gave it a full review or anything like that, or really dug in deep with these coil heads or anything like that to give you guys my full opinion. But I'm going to give you guys my first look because I have been vaping on it, and actually kind of surprised. Good or bad? You'll have to wait and find out. Let's have a vape, and I'll meet you guys up close. Right, guys, so here we are with the new Sense Herakles Weirdo Tank. Here is the one that I had in the up close when we were just up at FaceTime. As you see, I have been using this one, but I've only been using this one literally not even a full tank full yet. So we're not going to do a full review. This will just be a full quick look and give you guys my basic opinions of how it looks, what's included, and how it vapes for my first experience. And then we'll come back and do a update or quick update back to it and let you guys know what I think of the coil heads and overall my experience with this tank. So let's go ahead and get this started. I also got some extra coil heads which we'll talk about later on as well. Here is the packaging that we have for the Sense Herakles Weirdo SubOhm tank. The one that we are going to be using for the up close is the gold version, as you can see here with this little gold emblem. This is the little cardboard pull off they give you, we're all used to. Then you have your Sense Herakles Weirdo SubOhm tank, which is a little shorty tank. You got Herakles Weirdo, Sense. Then on the back you have what we're used to. Some information about Sense and Cigreat, designed and manufactured by Cigreat. You got your scratch and sniff to make sure you're using an authentic weirdo from Sense. The contents of the kit, and a little description about this new weirdo tank if you guys want to pause it for a second to read that. Alright, now, so let's go ahead and crack this bad boy open and see what's inside. Pull it over from the side, you got a little sticker thing over there. You have your tank right here up front. Like I said, we are using the gold one. Pretty sweet. We'll set that to the side. Pop open this tab like we are used to with the RTA, the Herakles Pro, all that stuff. Then you also have this warning. Never use a short or flat 510 connection on any hybrid or hybrid style device. So basically they're saying not to use their tanks because they used fixed 510 pins, or shouldn't be using SubOhm tanks on hybrid or hybrid style devices anyway, but basically a nice little warning. Inside here they give you a little bit of specs, some instructions for top filling, let you know the coil options, the colors. It's available in stainless steel, black, and rose gold, 3 mil ejuice capacity, top fill. And then inside here you also have a 0.6 ohm coil. As you see, it's a different, unique style. As you see in here, let's go ahead and pop this out. You have a different style coil than we are used to seeing from Sense, and this one is the 0.6 ohm, and it's rated for 30 to 80 watts. As you see, you do have your wicking channels right here for your juice to access your wicks. Here is your chimney part, and then you also have where your airflow is going into your coils at. Pretty cool looking coil. There's coils like this on the market, but it's cool to see Sense has done coils like this as well now. And I like to see how they work with this tank setup. And that's basically it for the packaging. You also get a replacement glass as well. Alright guys, so here we are with the actual tank. As you see, this one is the rose gold version. And this one is a much different from what we are used to seeing with like the Herakles SubOhm tanks as well. Here's what the full-size Herakles Pro looks like in stainless steel. It's got top fill, removable drip tip, adjustable airflow on the bottom, and adjustable juice flow control as well. and it also takes the new style Herakles coils that we've seen with the Herakles Plus and the version 2 as well. And here is the new Herakles Weirdo. So it is also smaller, and it also uses a different style coil, and it also does not have any juice flow control either. So I just wanted to point that out and show you guys before we go ahead and start breaking it down. We'll start with the bottom. As you see, you do have a fixed 510 pin that is surrounded by some peak insulator. You do have CE and the recycle icon right here on the bottom. It is good that it's on the bottom instead of on the tank like they originally did with the first RTA. I hated that. So I am glad. And you also don't have any of that marking on the coil or anything like that. You move up to the side. You do have some knurling right here for the bottom adjustable airflow. No clicking or anything like that, but it does lock once it is all the way closed or all the way open. Whatever you adjust on one side is also going to be the same on the other. Then you have Weirdo engraved or laser etched right here on the side of the tank. Then you also have the Herakles emblem logo. And then you also have scents. Then you have your glass. Then up here is where you have your top fill cap. That does also have some knurling. And then you also have this Delrin drip tip as well. This drip tip is not removable. So right off the jump, I am giving it a con for that. I do think they should have still made it to where you could use your own 510 drip tips. But hey, it's not going to kill you. As long as it operates right and these coils are halfway good, it'll be alright. So let's go ahead and pop this top off. As you can see, the top cap does actually attach to the top of the coil. Instead of it connecting to like the other part of the tank or like a chimney or anything like that, your coil is going to take place as your chimney, and your top cap is actually going to screw on to the actual coil. So if you do not have a coil in there, your tank will actually not screw together. As you see on the bottom here, you have designed and manufactured by Cigreat. It is pretty cool, and all the new tanks from them, they have put this in a different place than instead of putting it on the bottom. And now they just kept the CE and recycle icon on there. On like the Pro tank that I just showed you guys, it is underneath. When you separate the tank and have just the bottom part where you access the coil, that is where you actually see this wording as well. So you have a decent little setup here. You have your seal or gasket in here that actually goes down on top of your glass once you screw it all the way down. The threading on here is actually very nice, and as you can see, it does seem that your drip tip is press fitted in there. Your glass is removable. You just rock it back and forth until it does come out. There you go. Simple glass. And then as you see, you also have a gasket type seal that goes all around the basically of the base and the bottom that this glass is going to sit on. And as you can see, the glass does actually go down in this part some where it has this logo. It does slide down in there. You'll feel it hit the base, and then you'll see that your threading is actually going to show above the actual glass, and that it'll be even all the way around. One thing I did want to just point out about that. So you also want to be careful when you are top filling. You want to make sure that this glass is all the way on. And you also want to make sure it is all the way on when you are screwing this back on, so you don't have any leaking or anything like that. Especially with not having juice flow control. And you also can't change your coil with this tank without draining your liquid. So you pop that off. Then you can take out your coil. And here is the coil. This is the 0.4 ohm coil, and this one is rated 30 to 80 watts as well, which we'll talk about the coils in a little bit later. Then here is your base. As you can see, again, some really nice threading. I've had no issues with that. You can see your 510 pin down there where it makes contact with the bottom of this coil. That's a con if you guys can see that. You guys see that wire sticking out? So actually, after checking at it closely, that's actually not the wire from the coil. That is actually part of the bottom of the coil ripping up. You can see the coil down in there, but that is pretty odd. That is thing. You could actually sharpen cut yourself. So glad we caught that now. But back to this. Here is your base. As I said, you got your nice gasket down there as well. Nice little base. Pretty simple little tank. I mean, it's nothing fancy or super. It's just a nice little simple tank that someone wants to have a nice tank, different style coils. Depending on how the vape is, that's how this thing is going to shine, if it has a nice, great vape with these coil heads. But before we jump into that, let's go ahead and grab the other coil, assemble this back together, and we'll go over the coil heads that Sense has provided extra and the replacement coils, talk about that, and I'll give you guys the specs of this tank, and then we'll jump back up to FaceTime and vape on it. Here is the other coil head, the extra one. This one is the 0.6, and according to the package, it currently says the only coil options for this tank are the 0.6 ohm, which is rated also 30 to 80 watts. And as you see on the bottom here, this one is really nice and smooth, no issues. But the one that was pre-installed on the tank has that little piece of wire standing right there, actually, or metal from the bottom. But this one that is pre-installed is a 0.4 ohm, and it's also rated 30 to 80 watts. Now, just for safety purposes, I'm not going to be using this one. I'm going to be using the stainless steel one with the 0.4 coil head as well. I'm going to go ahead and just install this back together. Before I continue, for people that do have this tank and want to figure out how to use it, or if you do pick one up, only thing you would do is prime your coil. You would still drop a couple drops down in here. Make sure you get your cotton nice and wet, primed up. Go around and drop a couple drops on each one of these holes. Then pop your tank all the way on like so. Go ahead and top fill it up. Then take your top cap, make sure everything is shutting down. It's still having your threads popped out, and go ahead and screw this back on. Now, let's just give you guys a quick specs of this tank real quick. It is 22.3 millimeters on the bottom base, so it's basically going to be a 22 millimeter SubOhm tank, and it is only 52.4 millimeters tall from the bottom of this 510 pin all the way to the top of this drip tip. That comes included. That is not removable. It does, like I said, in the package state that it only coil options is a 0.4 and a 0.6, but I'm guessing since this has came out, they also have other coil options, because I do have a third coil option as well. This one does hold a maximum of 3 mils of e-liquid, so that's pretty cool. It does hold a decent amount. I was shocked by that. I actually originally thought this tank was going to be for like the EU thing, where they only have a maximum of 2 mils. So I was kind of surprised that this one did hold 3. But hey, it is available in black, rose gold, and stainless steel. So not too bad for a nice little tank. Now let's check out the coil options that come included with this actual tank, or actually, sorry, not included, are replaceable coil options. So here is the coil options that are available for this Sense Herakles Weirdo Tank. And something I want to point off right off the jump, I thought this was pretty cool. It is black, stainless steel, rose gold color options, even for the coil packages. And how they actually work out is the black option right here is going to be the 0.6 ohm coil, and this one is also rated 30 to 80 watts. You open it up, it comes in a package like this of 5, and you get them like this as well, and it's got all the coils in there. And I have checked these ones just from looking in the packages. They all seem not to have any metal shards coming off of them or anything like that. But here is the 0.6 coil options, and this is the spare coil that comes inside the actual kit itself when you purchase the Weirdo. Next one is going to be the stainless steel color, or the silver, and it's going to be the one that's pre-installed in your tank, the one I have a metal shard with. And this one is a 0.4 ohm coil, also rated 30 to 80 watts. And this one also comes the same way as the 0.6. And these are the only coil options that the actual package, as you see right here, coil options 0.4 and 0.6, says that it's included with. But I actually found out that the gold color Sense Herakles Weirdo coil package, they also offer a temp control coil, but instead of it being in nickel like we are used to seeing with the Herakles tanks, they now offer a 316L stainless steel 0.2 ohm coil head that is also rated 30 to 80 watts. Okay, so here is one of the new stainless steel 316L coil heads that are 0.2 ohms, and they're also rated 30 to 80 watts. They actually say it on there, 316L slash 0.2 ohm, 0.2 ohms, 30 to 80 watts. And this coil can be ran in temp control or regular wattage up to 30 to 80 watts. And now here is the 0.6 ohm coil right here. Let's see if there's any differences between the coils. Nope, everything looks the same. The airflow, the juice flow holes down inside there seems the same. Only difference is this one lets you know that it is a 316L stainless steel coil, and this one just says the resistance, which this one's going to be Kanthal. So that pretty much wraps it up. So you have 3 coil options, a 316L, a 0.6 Kanthal, and a 0.4 Kanthal coil. They do not include their new 1.8 ceramic coil that they advertise with the Herakles Honor and the Pro. But hey, this one seems to be doing alright. Let's jump back up to FaceTime and I'll give you guys my first experience and thoughts of this actual tank from vaping on it now. Alright guys, I'll see you guys back up top. It's chucking some clouds, I will tell you that, and the flavor is actually pretty damn good. Welcome back up top guys. So we just did the up close and personal look on the new Herakles Weirdo Tank by Sense and Cigreat. So besides that little issue with the coil, well, the one was pre-installed in here, the 0.4 ohm for having that metal shard, not too shabby of a little tank. There's going to be some cons that I have, which we'll talk about in the update. But there's also some pros that I've experienced even with my first look of this tank. And one of them, the airflow, great. Nice swooshy airflow. It sits flush even on my DNA 200 triad. Makes a good connection. Holds 3 mils of e-liquid. Top fill. The new coils seem to be holding up just fine. Giving me a great vape. I'm currently vaping the 0.4 ohm coil. It came in at 0.42 ohms and I'm vaping it at 60 watts at 5 volts. Let's have a vape. Airflow wide open. Not too bad at all, and the flavor on this is actually great. I was really impressed the first time I took a vape of this. I was actually vaping the same e-liquid in my Herakles RTA Mini, and I also have this same e-liquid as well inside my K-Fun version 5. And I will have to tell you, the flavor is on par. It is really good. And also what's pretty cool about this one, you can adjust the airflow down. I let a friend of mine use this who is in the mouth to lung style vaping, and he tightened it down to basically, I mean literally almost completely shut off, and was vaping just like that. His only con that he had for vaping this in that style is that he couldn't put on a smaller drip tip, because this one is kind of a wider open drip tip. But hey, to me personally, I like the nice swishy airflow. It's good flavor. Holds a decent amount of ejuice for being a little small stubby tank. 3 mils of e-liquid, not too shabby. Pros and cons right off the jump. 2 big cons that I have. One, can be subjective, is the drip tip. I wish you could remove it, just because on this stainless steel one, I like to use my own custom matchy 510 drip tip, and a drip tip can't just sit on top of here like we've seen with some tanks. This is all it is, which I kind of understand why, but I still wish they would have made it to where you could have your drip tip. And honestly, I think they could have done it, especially if you remember the RTA, how it has that 510 drip tip adapter, how it makes it stick up a little bit, and then you could pop your thing in. They could have made one of them on top of this and made a drip tip go into that. Maybe made it a little bit taller, but then they could have shrunk the drip tip down. I don't know. It could have been done, my personal opinion. The biggest con that I've realized so far with this, even vaping at 60 watts, because the coil is now the chimney itself, and the coil is now all in one, it's basically the middle of the tank. There is nothing separating the coil between the top and the drip tip, which is also maybe another con of why I believe that the drip tip is also press fitted into this top cap, and the top cap is so small, is that it gets hot. Like this top cap will get very hot, and then the bottom of the even drip tip will get hot. Even vaping at 60 watts, and I haven't even vaped the full tank yet, and this thing will get hot after maybe 2, 3, 4 vapes. I'm going to continue vaping it. I'm going to try different coil heads as well, and I'll give you an update and let you know if it's something I can withstand. Maybe it's just I got to learn to vape it differently, not put it like how I used to, like this. That vape wasn't bad, but 5 vapes. It's getting kind of warm, and they weren't even long pulls, but it's wicking up like a champ though. These coil heads, I'm impressed with the coil heads. I really am. I just wish the top part of this tank was done a little bit different. That's all so far. But the vape on it, I'm really fucking enjoying, just because lately I've been on an RTA kick and back on RDAs and really ain't been too into SubOhm tanks. But this, I was actually impressed with this. I would have really liked to seen their 1.8 ohm ceramic coils in here as well. I think this little tank would have done well with that coil, but hey, it's not a bad little tank. And that's what I got for you guys, just for the quick look. The Sense Herakles Weirdo. I'm going to take another vape. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick look. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, any things you want to point out, let me know. Drop them down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video or the Sense Herakles Weirdo Tank, smash the thumbs up button and let me know down in the comments. And we'll come back and I'll let you guys know my full experiences of the Sense Herakles Weirdo Tank, guys. And that's what I got for you guys. See you guys next time. And thank you for vaping with tough luck. Damn, that was hot.